Back here on CBS Sports HQ with Pete Prisco and Brady Quinn, I'm Chris Hassel. We're going to dive into the 8-1 Patriots at the 5-4 Eagles. It's a Super Bowl rematch, first time they've played since Super Bowl 52. Carson Wentz playing in this game.
Yeah, and this is a tough one because they've got extra time to prepare. But I also think so did this New England Patriots team. And you give Bill Belichick 2 weeks to prepare. That's a big issue for you if you're their opponent. And the other thing is they very rarely lose 2 in a row. Now, they did the last season, but really before that, you go back and look through their various seasons, they usually figure out what the issues are and then move forward and they make something else happen. So this is a tough spot. I mean, this Eagles team have lacked some of the big playability in the passing game without Deshaun Jackson. Their running game's been inconsistent. Their secondary, I think, is out there to be feasted upon by Tom Brady. And you also gave them 2 weeks to prepare with Mohamed Sanu and give him some more time to develop some of that chemistry with Tom Brady. Because last time we saw them, clearly they were targeting him, trying to get him more involved in the offense.
The last time they had 2 weeks to prepare against the Eagles,
they lost
the Super Bowl.
Sure.
Right. So,
and who was the quarterback?
Nick Foles was
Nick Foles.
Okay.
Yeah, but they still had the Philly special came up out of that 2 weeks to prepare, and they weren't ready for it.
Who else was there on that team? Was Michael Bennett there? He's not there. Okay.
They're different teams. I'm not saying they're the same teams.
Right.
I'm just saying he had 2 weeks to prepare. And they had 2 weeks to prepare, and they got the better end of it. The Eagles did.
Is that what you're going to base your pick on?
No, because I'm not picking. I'm not picking.
And by the way, had they showed the Philly
you just said how
before?
great the 2 weeks to prepare is, and I just pointed out.
Look at Bill Belichick.
I love Bill Belichick. He's the greatest coach of all time. But the last when he played I get it. But when he played the Eagles with 2 weeks to prepare, the Eagles beat him.
So you're going to use that one game?
I'm not going to use that one. I'm just stating facts.
Are you just going to keep saying that, or
yeah,
you
you're
say anything else about
like
this
it's
game?
meaningful.
I'm going to say that this is going to be Tom Brady Day. He's back. He will be back.
Wait, after all that, you're going to go.
We haven't seen the best of Tom Brady. We have not seen the best of Tom Brady, but I think it's going to come. It's been one of those years where usually the defense takes a while to get going in New England. The defense has been very good except against the run. They can't stop the run, but the offense has struggled to get any sort of rhythm. I think this is the game going forward where the offense starts to get rhythm. And you mentioned it. The secondary of the Eagles has had problems all year long. He's going to have opportunities down the field to make plays.
When you mentioned their issue in stopping the run, that's been a problem for the Patriots this year. Well, good thing it's not really necessarily a pro for the Eagles. It's not like they've been able to really do that effectively. And I also think Bill Belichick's always ahead of the curve. So I think when he looks at those run stuffers on the inside now they're kind of transitioning to guys that can kind of actually get upfield and impact the passing attack, maybe more so now than we see in the rushing attack. But all that being said, again, I like the Patriots on the road. I know it's a tough environment. The Eagles have a good roster, a good team. They just have not played up to the team that I think we're accustomed to seeing. So not only do I feel comfortable in the Patriots winning, I would lay the 3.5 points.
Do you think the Eagles will try and become more of a run team in this game to counteract that defense?
I mean, you've got 2 weeks to prepare for it. And look, I mean, they ran the football okay a couple weeks ago. I mean, they're starting to kind of get it going.
And against the Packers earlier this season.
Yeah.
Too.
Well, yeah, a lot of people are running the ball well against the Packers defense, but
they ran it against the Bills, and a lot of people running against the Bills too.
Right. So if this is a perceived weakness, of course they're going to try to work on it. I think they need to do this though, knowing that if they're going to win the division, if they're going to go in the playoffs, they need to develop a running game. They need to give Carson Wentz some help. Again, they don't have the kind of take the top off of a defense or take the top off of the defense with a wide receiver like Deshaun Jackson anymore. Now, Jordan Matthews is a part of this team. He's been here before. We've seen that. So, maybe he can start to kind of work himself into some, a role like that. But that's really not what he's done in the past.
The Patriots probably don't need this game from a divisional standpoint, whereas the Eagles do. But when you look at the AFC standings and what the Ravens are doing and where they're at, they need it from getting home field.
They don't have the tiebreaker with the Ravens. Obviously, the
Right.
Ravens won that head-to-head. Who wins the NFC East? Would you go with the Cowboys at this point?
I still like the Cowboys. I know their schedule sets up a bit more difficult, I think, than the Eagles, but it's pretty close. I mean, it's not like either of them really have a walk in the park.
I'd probably lean to the Cowboys, but what I saw the other night disturbed me a little bit. We'll know this week what they do against the Lions, because if they don't play well against them, they're in big trouble.
Yep.
Brady, you like the Patriots to win, cover the 3.5.
I do.
Pete?
I do. I agree with you
to win
as well.
and cover
Brady.
3.5.
Big day for Brady.
4:25 Eastern on CBS, the Patriots and the Eagles.
Super Bowl rematch of 2 years ago, the Eagles hosting the New England Patriots. Both teams coming off bye weeks. How do you see this one playing out? The Pats coming off their first loss. Are they out for a little, Belichick, he's out for a little revenge this week?
Yeah, it's like a quadruple revenge game. He lost. He lost before the bye. Belichick look, Belichick has an impeccable record against the spread after the bye. No matter how you slice it, you want to put it away. I mean, he's like 12-3 against the spread. since 2000 against the spread on away games, right? I mean, at home, obviously he's very good. Coming off a loss, he's very good. He's got a ridiculous record off a loss, and I think he's also got a little extra spicy revenge because they did lose to the Eagles in the Super Bowl. The one thing that worries me a little bit about I love the Pats in this spot, and I'm not going to fade Bill Belichick. Love to get it at 3 instead of 3.5 because I think it could be a close game. The one thing that does concern me is that we saw Philadelphia before they went on the bye really start to develop an identity as a dangerous running team. Miles Sanders, Jordan Howard running behind what is one of the best offensive lines in football. Andre Dillard coming along strong. I mean, they got some bodies up there, right? Brandon Brooks, they signed to a big contract extension. So that would be my one concern, is that we've seen the Patriots sort of bullied by big run games. If they can make this Eagles team pass and get them one-dimensional and force Carson Wentz to throw, I love the Patriots to romp them. Otherwise, I think it's probably a close game. But I'll bank on New England and Bill Belichick winning it. But I would prefer to have the 3 instead of the 3.5.
These are two teams that are pretty darn good. Played in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. It is a defending champion, Patriots, on the road, off the bye with Philly. Kenny, who do you like in this one? And how did you quantify a team like New England coming off the bye? How does that factor in?
Yeah, it's always big. It's at least 2.5 points advantage for the Patriots. So it put me right at the number, Patriots minus 3.5. So I like the game under the total, under 44.5. That extra time to prepare, Bill Belichick's always going to take away your best weapon. Obviously, that's the tight end for the Eagles. So I think this, and the Eagles' offense has struggled a little bit, where their defense has made vast strides over the last 4 or 5 weeks. Jimmy Johnson's done a great job there defensively. I like it under the 44.5 for that fact.
Well, you talk about the offense having issues. Guess what? They're getting healthier. Jason Peters, he's slated to make his return, which would be huge for that offensive line, especially running the football. And running the football has really been something the Philadelphia Eagles offense they've been able to hang their hat on when you look at the combination between Miles Sanders and Jordan Howard. And looking at the New England Patriots defense, granted, they've been the talk of the town in the first half of the season as far as their ability to create turnovers and score points. But one area that they're starting to really have some issues, run defense. In the last 6 ball games, 4 games, they've allowed at least 135 yards on the ground. That's not stout New England Patriots-like defense. And because of those issues and their issues with their offensive line, I like the Philadelphia Eagles to cover because this is a very, very important ball game for the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what? They're chasing the Dallas Cowboys. Every game matters right now for them, and I think they will play with a lot of energy. They will play physical football. They will put pressure on Tom Brady, and I think, and I do believe, they will have success running the football against the New England Patriots. Go Eagles.